So today was a success, and I want to focus for myself on why this is important to me. It's because I want to think better. I want my mind to be clearer all the time. And by thinking, I don't necessarily mean just like doing work or math problems. Not thinking just in that sort of rational cognitive sense of thinking, but sort of thinking slash feeling slash experiencing. And I am noticing this because I have been cutting back drinking the past few days, and I've noticed my mood, my thinking is just a little bit more elevated. I sleep deeper, I dream better, I wake up with almost more control of my mood. As I'm just lying in bed, I wake up, I'm not sleeping anymore, I'm resting, and I feel more positive as I think about the things I can do with my life in the day versus when I'm drinking a lot and I didn't sleep as well, I don't feel as good. So even in the mornings, I'm already feeling better. Even this evening, right now, I feel better. I'm not under the influence of alcohol, which is one of the things the experts are telling us is that even when the alcohol wears off after your liver processes it, it still has impacts in brain chemistry. That is the reason many people do not sleep well. Even though the alcohol has been out of their system for several hours, it has changed the brain because alcohol goes in and messes up the neurotransmitters, which connect the neurons in the brain, and sleep is disturbed. And we may not even be aware of that because we think we sleep, but we're not getting the really deep REM sleep that we want. And I think that is definitely true of me. If I'm drinking alcohol, even just moderately, I will not sleep as well, and I will sometimes wake up in the evening. I'm older, I'm over 60. I don't sleep as well as before, and I noticed alcohol makes that worse. And I will be awake for an hour, even if I just drank moderately that evening. So that is why I want to do this, because it makes my life better. And that is what I learned the last time I did 90 days, that I could think, feel better, my mood was better. I think alcohol steals from Peter to pay Paul. Uh, Either way, steals from Paul to pay Peter. Either way, you are Paul. You're stealing from yourself. Alcohol steals future happiness, future mood. There's there's no it's like a credit card. Yeah, when you're spending and putting everything on credit, yeah, it feels great. You can get what you want, but you have to pay, and then you have to pay interest on it. And I don't recommend that you ever carry a balance with a credit card. But alcohol, I think, is like that. That's an analogy for alcohol. It's taking out joy and elevated mood on a credit card, but you're gonna have to pay it back. There's no, I wish it wasn't the case, but I think spiritually, that is what I have found. If you're very attuned to your mood, what you believe, what you think about the goodness of the universe, the possibility of God's existence, your responsibility for your own happiness in life. If you follow that very carefully, I have found you have to pay back what alcohol gave in those first, as you were enjoying it in those first minutes or hour or two that you get a buzz from alcohol. Alcohol seems not just to be a depressant, but it's first a stimulant and then becomes a depressant. So that stimulation, that energy, yeah, we can feel that. Even experts will say, I mean, alcohol will give you a buzz. It can make you feel good. It can take you out of the depths for a while. But that's what I learned the last 90 days. is that it's better to be without it. I felt more in control. So I didn't go down into the depths. I didn't need it. When I was out with friends, I didn't need it. I had a great time anyway. And to be honest, I would substitute some caffeine for alcohol when I was out with friends. I'd have iced tea, coffee, and even in the evening, yeah, so I would pay the price with not sleeping as well, but that was rare. I did not always use the caffeine. So that, I think, is the thing I've learned with alcohol. Even if you're just a light to moderate drinker, which is okay. I mean, if you want to pay the price, that's okay. I'm not demonizing it. I'm not saying spiritually it's a sin or it's negative or you cannot develop yourself spiritually, but there's no free lunch. It's not like you do this to your brain and you get that rush and you've changed the chemistry of your brain a little bit, and yeah, it feels good because things are firing and you're enjoying it and other people are enjoying it. So it's a great time. It's a party. It's fun. It's a great dinner. But when your brain has to return to baseline, to its normal patterns, and if you've disrupted it, it takes a while for the brain to bring it back, and there's no free lunch. You have to pay for it. You've taken some joy and bliss on your credit card. You have to pay it back. So that's the thing I've learned, is that there is a cost of even moderate. And part of that cost is the next days you want to, if you're a moderate drinker, you want to keep drinking. And many of my friends have said, yeah, well, no, I have certain rules. Like I don't drink Monday through Thursday, or I limit it to 12. So people have to limit it. And so that becomes a negative. And I think we need to pay attention to that. So that would be one of the spiritual things. It's like, why do you want that drink? And that is the attentiveness to that wanting and having to say no. That's a negative. Having to bargain, having to limit. Wouldn't it be great to get rid of all of that in your mind so your mind can be full of something else? Instead of saying, no, it's Sunday, we're watching a football game, but I don't normally drink on Sundays, but can I have two, all of that. What if we could get rid of all of that bargaining and limitation and just enjoy the moment for what it is? So that would be the spiritual aspect. Enjoying what you actually are experiencing as a human being in the moment without a drug. Because alcohol is a very powerful and dangerous drug, and we've sort of made it a game of taking small amounts. For those who are able to take 1, 2, 3, 4 drinks max, but some people aren't. They go 4, 5, 10, 15, 20. They can't stop that, and it's a very powerful drug. Even with 2, 3, 4 drinks can have a powerful negative effect on people's capacities. So reclaiming our biochemistry, our brain chemistry, who we are, our ability to be in the moment and not be dependent on a very powerful drug, alcohol. That's the spiritual reason why I want to do 90 days. To be connected to who I am in this universe, at the footsteps of heaven, thinking about the possibility of God and God's grace, and experiencing the reality that God the Creator provided in this universe. And if you look at it a different way, just being enlightened in my experience, in our experience of what is real, to be reality-based, to be based in the reality of the universe as a human being. Not just what science says, yes, what science says, but something more, what it means to be a human being. And alcohol is so powerful, it affects all our emotions, all our thinking. And to get real clarity, it's worth the experiment to take 90 days off of alcohol. I'm doing a 90-day cleanse, purge, purification of no alcohol. And I'm going to try to look at the religious and spiritual implications of that for all religions, so from an interfaith perspective. Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Hindu, Buddhist, secular religion, and also science. So I'm trying to stop the use of alcohol. I'm usually a moderate drinker. I'm not an alcoholic. I haven't had serious problems with alcohol, but I am trying to perfect my own consciousness, my own awareness. So I am trying to see what getting alcohol out of my life would do for me. So this is actually day one. I've completed day one. It's 7 in the evening. I'm not going to drink. I know that. So I have succeeded in day one. And I to be honest with you, I find, excuse me, I find days 1 through 4 to be a little bit difficult because, it's the end of a workday. Why don't I have a couple of drinks? And not necessarily every day. And that is one thing I don't like about being a light to moderate drinker. I feel that my mind spends a lot of time in this bargaining. It's what I call alcohol bargaining. I can have one drink, I can have 2 drinks. I'll meet a friend, we'll have a couple beers. Or I did really good today, I deserve a drink. And even if it's not every day, it's this constant bargaining and thinking about it and limiting that's in my mind almost frequently. Not all the time, but frequently. And that's the pull of alcohol. It's not a physical addiction. It's I'm not having any physical withdrawal symptoms, but as I'll try to talk about later, they are saying that alcohol has these long-term effects even with light and moderate drinking. So even if you drink just 2 or 3 drinks for a couple of days, the next day your stress hormones may be actually higher the next day. And even with 2 or 3 drinks, you don't sleep as well. And I find that to be true. So I look at religion. I have a Ph.D. in religion. I'm a published writer. I look at religion in terms of experience. That is what is really important to me, what humans experience more than what human beings believe about religion. So I'm looking at the consumption of alcohol as an important part because alcohol is such a dangerous substance. It kills millions of people every year. And it affects the lives of tens of millions of Americans. I'm in the United States. But it's true pretty much all over the world. So I want to look at what alcohol does to my spiritual life for these 90 days. I'm doing a 90-day cleanse. And that is because experts say you really need to do 90 days to really see the difference in your life. I have done 90 days before. The last time I did a complete, absolute 90 days, on the 90th day, I just never wanted to drink again. But because of our society is so immersed in alcohol, and my friends would drink, I would start up with light to moderate drinking again. Again, no real problems, except I did notice that I would want to drink and I would look forward to having alcoholic drinks with friends. And yet, when I completed the 90 days, I did not want to do that. So 90 days is sort of an experiment. I encourage you to take this experiment. Now, to be honest, I have confidence I can do this if I really wanted to, but I don't know if I really want to. There's this ongoing bargaining inside. It's almost like a religious question. Should I? Shouldn't I? What are the benefits? Can I do this? Is there a temptation? And so I do find it difficult to really make the decision. Now, I'm not going to drink at all for 90 days because I know what not drinking for 90 days entails. It means being out with friends and not having a drink. It means having a tough day or a great day and can't have a glass of wine to celebrate. I know it's tough, so I don't really fully want to do that. I want to be able to decide. I just want to decide, yeah, I'm going to do 90 days. But to be honest, I'm not quite there. I'm trying to convince myself to do this. So I haven't decided. And I think that's a religious existential question. Why don't we decide just to give up alcohol? Well, it's a hard thing. I think we know that. Even for someone who's light and moderate, it's not destroying my life. I have no real negative impacts in my life, except very minor ones that I want to talk about in terms of my experience as a human being, because I feel that the next day or two after stopping drinking, I would like a drink. And I don't sleep as well. And I do get more calories. So I want to go through all these reasons that when I did this before, that became important to me. There were a lot of benefits for completely stopping for 90 days. And they were apparent after about day 4 to 2 weeks. I felt better, had more energy, felt more in control. I felt like a different person very, very subtly, and in meditation and in just attentiveness to who I am as a spiritual person, as a thoughtful, secular person, both of those. I felt different, I felt better, I felt I was doing the right thing. But it's difficult now for me, day one, this is actually day one, to really commit 90 days, no drinks. I don't want to commit to that, and I haven't really committed to that, even though I'm starting it. So it's sort of an experiment, a try, and that's okay. I mean, if that's where you are. I have decided I'm going to do 4 days, absolutely no alcohol. So today is a Monday, so I know from past experience I can do this, and it feels great to get through the first day. I know tomorrow will be even easier, and day 3 or 4, it's like, oh, I did good. I can stop drinking. I can have a drink. But no, I have to say no for 4 days. But then there's the weekend. I'll be out with friends, perhaps, probably. And then I really have to really be committed to get through that first weekend and the second weekend. Those I noticed were tough times a little bit. You just have to really say no. And well, we'll see. We'll deal with those days as they come. But for today, yay, no alcohol, success.